Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye pathmakers of old, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. Om Shri Babaji Namaha. Om Shri Lahiri Mahasayaji Namaha. Om Shri Yukteswarji Namaha. Om Shri Paramahansa Yoganandaji Namaha. Om Shri Sheliji Namaha. Om Shri Swami Kriyanandaji Namaha. Most beloved and precious Ishtadevata, in all of thy names and all of thy forms, Yanamaha. Om Shri Ravi Yanamaha. Om Shri Ravi Yanamaha. Om Shri Ravi Yanamaha. Om Shri Surya Yanamaha. Om Shri Surya Yanamaha. Om Shri Surya Yanamaha. Om Shri Chandraji Yanamaha. Om Shri Mangalaji Yanamaha. Om Shri Buddhiji Yanamaha. Om Shri Brihaspatiji Yanamaha. Om Shri Sukraji Yanamaha. Om Shri Saniji Yanamaha. Om Shri Rahuji Yanamaha. Om Shri Ketuji Yanamaha. Om Shri Ravi Vanamaha. Om Shri Surya Vanamaha. Om Shri Ravi Vanamaha. Om Shri Surya Vanamaha. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. Namaste. Welcome. Welcome to my heart, and welcome to our Sunday Sangha. Once a week, there should be a time for the Sangha to come together. And this is that time. A time to bring our spiritual energies together, to lift, to ascend, to send forth our blessings to the circle, of which each of you is the center of your universe. Each of you is the center of your circle. All things are thrice compounded. In this realm of existence, all things are thrice compounded. The mental, the verbal, the physical. One way. But today, more importantly, the individual, the cultural, and the universal. The symbolism which surrounds our lives is thrice compounded. That which is a symbol for you, that which is a symbol for me, individually, is different. That which is a cultural symbol is something else. And that which is a universal symbol is the third. To be able to communicate, we need to understand the nature of symbolism. To communicate, we need to understand who we are communicating with and what we are trying to communicate. The hardest of all of these things is to be able to communicate with the self, to communicate to your personality, if you will, to communicate then beyond your personality to your higher self. And in doing that, we must learn to communicate with the other, the not self. You may think they're not important, but the whole universe in which you are living is filled with the not self. Those whom you are a part of because you are a part of life, but those who have a different perspective than you do of the world. Now, today, in different parts of the world, the Father is celebrated and honored. Allah, Allah, the merciful and compassionate. How many times have you heard the name Allah and realized that Allah is followed by the words, the merciful and compassionate? God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, if you will, in other theologies. IHVH, that is which is not spoken. Brahma. All of these words are symbols that are used to represent, if you will, as we would say in Kriya, the solar symbol, the masculine energy that exists and lives within the world, upon the earth. Each of us has solar energy and lunar energy. Now, if you're in the kind of body that I'm in, and many of you are in, the lunar energy dominates because you are in a feminine formed body. However, there are other bodies where the solar energy dominates because they are in a solar energy body. Now, in about the 1970s, I would say, if I remember my guru correctly, there was a change in some of the karma manifesting upon the earth. As many souls incarnated in a female form began to work dominantly in occupations that had been filled by men previously. Now, anything I say, this is not related to it's related to spiritually the lunar and the solar, all right? Please, it is not related to the physical male and female, but it is related to the lunar energy and the solar energy. The solar energy is the power energy. It is the objective reality. The lunar energy, which rules most of us, whether you're in a male or female body, is the subjective energy. We all have components of lunar and solar. But in about the 1970s, as those in women's bodies, and I'm just going to call them women at this point, and realize that they're not just, I'm not speaking about this in a kind of a political way, but rather the effect of the physical body as it has on your spirit. As women began to work in worlds that were dominated previously by men, something happened energetically. And that which happened was that much of the lunar energy which had been present, really dominated in their life, became more solar leaning. As men began to do things that had previously been designated to be in the female realm, souls in men's body became more lunar leaning. What we want to do is become balanced. That's all we're seeking to do, is to become balanced, so that there is a balance between the subjective reality and a balance between the objective reality. The objective reality is referred to many times as the sun, the solar energy. That energy which we, upon the earth, from which we derive power, right? The life-giving force upon the earth is solar energy. Well, we need the sun to exist on this planet. And just as the physical sun sends forth its light unto the earth, so does that sun which lives within us shine. It lives within you at your sun center. But just as the solar sun externally can be blocked by clouds, by smoke from the fires, by our own blindness, so the brilliant light of the sun here at the sun center can be blocked by the same. I say, well, it's not the external conditions that is blocking this, but it becomes the subjective reality that is blocking this. The emotionality that arises in the mind, thus, will block the internal sun. Just like the problems that are existing upon the earth block the light of the physical sun as it shines upon the earth here. Why did I say Allah, Allah, the merciful and compassionate? It's a symbol. It is a cultural symbol. The name is a cultural symbol. Maybe it was startling to your personality to hear that word. I know often the seminarians, as they're studying about comparative theology, they forget that when they come to Islam, this is the first thing, the very first thing, the name of the divine followed by the merciful and compassionate. What is the name of the divine that you were raised to hear, if any? And what were the attributes that were applied to and given to that name of the divine? We have to feed that, or we have to wash it from our consciousness and transform that into some state of attunement to the divine that is beneficial to you, to me, is beneficial to us. This is the value of attuning to the Ishtadevata. Oh, it is your chosen form of the divine with the attributes that you value. Wisdom, compassion, mercy, love, nonviolence. compassion, 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 support, comfort, whatever the word is or the words are that you most value, that you would say, oh, this, yes, the divine, this is the most wonderful that the divine can have, the most wonderful attributes that they can have. Very important to discern for yourself what attributes the divine should have as you attune to the divine in your life. It matters not whether the divine that you attune to is in a female form, a male form, a neutral form. Now, when we're talking about the masculine, talking about the masculine energy or the solar energy, oftentimes the form of the divine is in a masculine form. People attune to the divine in a masculine form is what I'm trying to say. The mystics say, whatever form you attune to, this you become like. The mystics say, now hear this, and if your mind becomes offended, say, oh, isn't that interesting? God, or the good, is powerless. No power. How can that be? You, within you resides the power to turn to the divine. And in turning to the divine, the power is immeasurable. You turn, you attune to the divine, and the power of the divine pours forth to you. But here's the key. The divine one is not a puppeteer. No, not a puppeteer moving you around. Not a puppeteer saying, oh, I'm going to make her life like this or his life like this. I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. You are Aham Brahmasmi. You have created the life you are living, and you continue to create the life you are living. Oh, that's a hard one. That is a hard one. And yet, what an enormous blessing. What an enormous blessing. There once was a young girl. She'd walk down the street, came home one day and said to Mama, you know, I don't understand. I walk down the street and everybody smiles at me. People always smile at me and say hello. Why are they doing that? It's so nice. They smile at me and say hello. Papa comes in and hears her story, and they both turn to each other, kind of laugh. They say, you smile at people when you walk down the street. And they smile back at you. And the little girl didn't know. Really? That's what's happening? A few minutes later, her brother comes in and everybody's in a bad mood today. Every place I go, people are frowning. Pursed lips. Why me? Why are they frowning at me? And his little sister laughs at him. Papa says, well, my son, go look in the mirror. Did you wake up on the wrong side of the bed this morning? Have you been frowning all day? Even in the midst of the most difficult times of your life, there is the opportunity to just slightly turn the boat, you know? Up instead of down, up instead of down. Realizing small change can change all of the energy flow. A small change in your life that you make change everything. Now, the Father, the masculine energy, universally, this is a word, universally the solar symbol, the sun symbol. And in astrology, the symbol of the sun is a circle with a bindu in the center of it. A circle with a bindu. Now, the circle is a universal symbol. It means the totality of all existence. That's universal. Wherever you go, a circle symbolizes the whole. But you add the bindu to it, and that is self-conscious awareness. The sun, the solar symbol, the totality of all reality with self-conscious awareness in it. That means that you are aware of who and what you are. You simply have to allow it to reveal itself, to strip away the veil of the personality, to see who and what you are. Now, we have cultural symbols. And the cultural symbol of the Father varies very much from culture to culture. The cultural symbol for the Father can be loving and compassionate. The cultural symbol of the Father can be harsh. It can be cruel in some cases. It can be authoritative with compassion or authoritative without compassion. The cultural symbol of the Father can be of someone who must be obeyed. And so we have to know what's the cultural symbol of the Father within the culture that we live in. If you live in America, there are many, 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 many cultures within America. Many different groups here, many different ways of thinking symbolically. And then there is the individual symbol. What does the word mean to you? When you think the word Father, close your eyes a minute. What do you hear? Papa? Dad? Father? Daddy? My Lord? Mr.? Signor? Monsieur? What happens to your mind when you hear those words? Very important to know that, because you will see as you hear those words, this word has no resonance for me. This word I feel very good about. This word I feel a little apprehension, perhaps a little tightness in the stomach about it. We need to know what the individual symbols are for us and how we react to them. The easiest way, one of the easiest ways to look at this individual cultural and universal symbols is to look at the symbol of a bicycle. Although I think that's changed an awful lot, but for many people, the symbol of a bicycle is certainly in America and in some European countries was the symbol of playing, of children playing, of being able to ride someplace for fun. But if you go to the Netherlands, the symbol of a bicycle is a symbol of transportation, something that gets you from one place to the other. If you go to China, the symbol is very definitely a symbol of something that gets you from one place to the other. It's not something that you get on and just kind of pedal and relax and go see in the country. But it is a symbol of transport, a transportation, in much the same way that the car is in other countries. So what is the symbol of a bicycle? If we look at a universal symbol, well, we have two wheels. And upon that wheel are spokes. And in the center, is a hub. Oh, a circle with spokes and a hub in the center. Oh, it's a symbol of the zodiac, the 12 signs of the zodiac. It's also the circle that runs around in the mill, grinding the grain. It can be many things, is what I'm trying to say. And so to be able to see clearly and to help yourself live harmoniously and to learn how to communicate, you need to understand what the symbol is. And how the other person is going to perceive that symbol. And how your mind perceives that symbol. Some people did not have a good experience with their relationship with their father when they were little or when they grew. They may have been separated from their father through physical circumstances, emotional circumstances. Others had a supporting, loving father that they had a relationship with their whole life. Most have a combination. Most have a relationship with the father that's pretty good, but then as they grow, they begin to see the personality of the father, and there may be things that they don't care for in the personality of the father. So what do you do? When Papa can't solve everything, when you see that Papa is not the hero that you thought he was when you were 5, you must learn to sift, to say there is this symbol that I need to have and to attune to in my life. The symbol of that which is powerful and which can give unto me the life force I need, the energy that I need, the support and strength that I need, and turn to use the symbol. Now, communication. A hut. Kaka gaga na. Communication is the capacity to take a state of consciousness which you have attuned to from the astral. States of consciousness come first from the causal, very, very thin, then into the astral. And they solidify themselves. You become relative to them. But to take this state of consciousness that you have and to be able to, in one way or another, communicate that to another. And even more important, communicate it to yourself. How is that done? That is the great mystery. How is that done? How do you take a symbol and use that symbol to communicate to another? Now, we rather poorly use words in any language that we're speaking. We poorly use words, but we use symbols. You know, what are these? You know, what are all these malas? It's a symbol. It's a symbol of a spiritual state of consciousness. It's a symbol of a commitment. And multiple malas is a symbol of a commitment to disciples. It's a symbol that a guru wears when discipleship is open. You wear one, discipleship is closed. You wear multiples, discipleship is open. You know, what is the symbol within? It's not just an om. It's an om within a circle. It's a mandala. It's a state of consciousness. Oh, the whole reality is here. And within that reality is om. And om is the state of consciousness. What is the symbol of this little tiny bead, which is the same as this tiny bead? It is a symbol of attunement to Lord Shiva. You don't have to know that consciously. But unconsciously and subconsciously, when your mind sees this, it sees something and it understands. Now, if I showed up here in my pajamas or in a sweatshirt, which I don't know that I have, but let's say I had one, a sweatshirt, sloppy clothes, I'd be sending forth a different set of symbols to you. You would see it differently. You would feel it differently. You would experience it differently. You communicate, whether you know it or not, by the colors you wear, by the clothes you wear, by the way you wear your hair, by your voice, by the tone of your voice. All of these are more important in your communication than the words which you say. The thoughts which you hold in your mind radiate forth, and they are either accepting and loving, kind, compassionate, or they are judgmental. And you can say, oh, it's so nice to see you. And your mind is thinking, oh, I really wish I had seen her today. And the other person doesn't hear, oh, I'm so glad to see you. They hear, oh, I wish I hadn't seen her. There must be a congruence in your mind. With your mind, your words and your actions must become congruent in order to be able to fully communicate. And when we have had experiences in our lives in which the individual symbol is not aligned to the cultural symbol or not aligned to the universal symbol. We must balance those symbols. And it is easier to balance the individual symbol than it is to balance the cultural and the universal. Oftentimes, the cultural symbol is what's out of balance. And then we need to say, oh, I'm going to go to that universal symbol. I'm going to go to the universal. In Eastern thought, there is the concept, and actually in Western thought also, the concept of a tetragrammaton, anything which is 4 letters. And the word God, G-O-T-T, G-O-O-D, is the good, the reality, the good. What a remarkable thing. This word that is used, contracted, one of the O's contracted into two, the 2 O's contracted into one. It means the good. The good. Wow. Wow. What an incredible blessing to see that, to know that. What a powerful blessing thought that is. God is not punishing. God is not judging. God is the good. For it is you, your memory of your actions, your thoughts, your words, and your judgment of those things that is what you have to deal with, what you have to address, what you have to balance, what you have to bring into balance. It is not others, but it is ourselves that we must do this for. For at the time that you wake up tomorrow morning and you're in your new life, it is your judgment of those things that you have done and your judgment of those memories that you have that must be dealt with, that must be modified, that must be accepted, and then modified, accepted, and then improved upon. For if your life is good, it can be even better. If you're in a time of your life where everything is really good, it can be even better. And if you are at a point in your life, which I know some of you are, where it is rough, it will be better. It can be better. Now, I'm well aware, acutely so, that some of you have had challenging, difficult solar experiences in your life. Perhaps a father who is not kind or who has been sick, who has done things to you that are cruel. Perhaps men in your life that have been like that also. But it's necessary to find a way through, to attune then to the universal goodness, to say, all right, I'm not sure how I drew this into my life, but I don't want it anymore. I want to be able to recognize and see the goodness, to see the possibility of the goodness. And to do this, as we close our meditation, I'm trying to relay something that I feel this morning is a hard concept to draw down, if you will, and to solidify. The symbol of the solar energy, the symbol of the father, the symbol of the masculine, which should be a life fulfilling energy, a life-breathing energy, oftentimes is not that in experience. And we need to transform our consciousness so that we can attune to that. I started talking about the masculine and feminine in the beginning of this. For all of us, what we're seeking to do is balance the masculine and feminine. And if you're in a feminine body and you've lived in a lot of masculine world, you may not be. You may be more masculine attuned than feminine attuned. But we need to balance both. It's necessary to balance both spiritually. To communicate, you need to understand the right words, the right time, and the right tone to use when communicating to the other. And the other includes yourself, beyond your personality. There once was a man who had a son, and he loved the son very much. He was a businessman, and his son was a dreamer. His son was a creative person. His son had ideas. Yeah, the father had built a business. The father was very practical. The father could organize. The father could delegate. The father's father was an organizer, was a delegator. The man learned to organize and delegate from his father. He learned to build his business. He kept the books straight. He kept all of the aspects of the business straight. And then his son comes along. And his son's a talker, his son's a dreamer, his son's creative, his son has ideas. But his son can't organize. His son has no interest in organizing. Now, Papa wants the son to take over the business. He dreams his son's going to take over the business. Son wants Papa's approval. So he comes into the business. And he hates it. Hates it. Everything that Papa gives him to do, he doesn't do too well at. He's not good at running operations. Papa puts him in charge of operations. Really? The man who can't stand details? I learned it. My son should learn it. And the son is lost. The son is lost. Send me out to talk to the clients, Don't make me follow up. I can talk to people. And a distance grows between the son and the father because the father thinks that the son should be able to do anything that he can do himself. This, my beloved, is one of the biggest obstacles that we all face in our lives. We fail. We think that other people have the same experiences we do, have the same wisdom we do, have the same insight we do, and it's wrong. They have completely different experiences than we do. I have a disciple who, for many, many years, ran a store in the town that she lived in. Beautiful, beautiful artistic things were in the store. And I used to go in there and I think, how in heaven's name did she ever figure out where to order all these things from, how to price them, how to keep track of them, how to do the inventory? It was a beautiful place to go into. But in my wildest imagination, I could never have figured out how to do that. I would have been in a big mess if somebody had said you go do it. We need a store, you go do it. I know, thank you. That's not what my personality is good at. And yet we do that. The father did that to his son. After a few years, many struggles, the father realized he had a real problem. But it became worse. The son became ill and started using alcohol as a consolation in his life, if you will. And the man's mother called him and said, you need to talk to your son. As mothers will want to do. I can't an heir, the son's a grown man. Don't interfere. But what does the father do? Learning all these lessons, the father invites his son out and says, hey, come to dinner with me. And they go to someplace quiet. I don't think it was dinner. I think it was lunch or someplace where there was no alcohol. And he says, you're a grown man. I respect you. I respect you. I need to talk to you about something. First thing he did is say, I accept you. I respect you. I love you. But I got a call from your grandma. And I agree with her. It appears as if you have a problem right now. And here's what I see the problem is. I'm not going to tell you it's bad. You're an adult, you know. I'm not going to tell you it's going to hurt you. You're an adult, you know that. But I'm here. And I'm saying to you, my son, I trust you. I know that you have the capacity to figure this out yourself. And if you need me, if there's anything I can do to help you, I'm here to do that for you, with you. Wow. You have a problem in your life. We all have problems in our lives, right? How can you be like this father? How can you become like this father? Somebody wrote to me the other day, and they'd come back from a long journey, and they had a wonderful time. Every place they went, everybody was greeting them with a smile and kindness and love. And they come back, they land at the airport, and they go into a shop, and they experience, instead of the warmth that they felt in this other place, they experience what they felt was coldness from the staff working in this place, a suspicion from the staff working in this place. And they felt sad. Now, if you're looking symbolically, you have to say, well, okay, I just got off of a long flight. I've been on a flight for 12, 15 hours. Did I look like I was kind of disoriented or discombobulated? I wonder how long that person has been working today. I wonder how they're feeling. Instead of taking it personally, oh, they're looking at me as if there's something wrong, examine. Say, oh, I wonder how tired looking I was. I wonder if I was looking a little off here. Maybe if I smiled to them and was warm and was able to greet them and was able to talk to them, they would react differently to me. If I had the ability to lift myself a little bit and change my prism a little bit. We must learn the right way to communicate. Communication is the right words, the right tone, the right time, the right place. You don't ask the boss for a raise at the end of a fiscal quarter unless the books are done and the results are excellent. You don't go to your family or your wife or husband and discuss something that is sensitive, or your friends or your acquaintances, when the time is not right. The time must be right. The words must be right. Most importantly, your intent and the vibration must be of the highest possible. Learn your individual symbols. Learn what your red buttons are. Learn what your cultural symbols are. And when I say cultural, I'm asking you to look really at your family first, at your family of origin first. Look at the symbols there. And then take that and expand that to your culture. And it will be different for every one of you. It takes reflection to see that, to see the symbols along the way. And then learn universal symbols. Get yourself a book and learn universal symbols. Learn what the color red is. Learn what jade is. Learn what the color green is. Learn what the color blue is. Learn what the color indigo is. So that when you see these things, you begin to understand the states of consciousness associated with them. And then practice. And I'll close, before we go to our meditation, I'll close with the last, to me, quite an interesting symbol I've used for years, but in America, people, many, many, many people drive red cars. In Asia, not so much. In Europe, not so much. Very little. But in America, red cars. If you go into a parking lot and you see a bunch of red cars, do not park between the red cars. Get as far away from them as you can. Do not park between a red and a black car. That's a symbol. Margin energy, margin energy, margin energy. Aggressive energy. Hey, you're going to go grocery shopping. You don't need to be parking between red cars. And I'll close with this wonderful small memory of red cars. Pranananda and I were together on a trip, and we went to the car rental, and I don't remember why we were at the airport together or why we were renting a car, but anyway, they offered him a red car. He said, no, thank you. You have to give me something else. He turned to me and he says, I love red cars. I love red cars, but I never drive them. I always go too fast. And he looked at me and he said, Swamiji, you should never drive a red car with your aspects. And I smiled and I said, I know, I just love them too. You get behind the wheel and you really just feel like you can go, go, go. Oh, what a sweet memory that was. So I don't drive red cars. I've not driven a red car since that moment in time, and I never saw him drive one either. But it was wonderful to have that symbol, that memory, that recognition that sitting inside of this red car was enough to make the mind say, oh, yes, 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 yes. Let me go a little faster here. The symbol was speaking to us. So, recognize that. Recognize that, and I hope you can do something with it. Now I'd like to take a little time. I've talked more than I expected today, but if you will, take time to go into meditation if you're able to join me. let me say one thing, please. Someone sent me a note, and I'd like to say this. It is, for some, difficult to put into practice. When you have had an experience with Father that is not always the optimal experience, when you've been disappointed, one thing to do, because it is hard, it is effort-filled. Somebody said not long ago to me that the difficulty of being a parent is that you're remembered by your worst moments, oftentimes, rather than all of the work that you've done. I hope that's not true. But if you have a difficult experience, it is helpful to raise your awareness above. And in your reflection, in your tarka, remember, you chose this incarnation. You chose to be incarnated with the mother and the father that you drew into your life. And if you were adopted or had step-parents, you chose to draw them into your life. And so the question, the action, the Kriya, not the question, but the action, the Kriya, is to first be able to accept the situation. You don't have to like it, but to say, all right, here it is, let me see it. And then secondly, to say, this soul they've done the best that they can. Can I accept that? Can I forgive them if there's something that they've done that I can't accept? Can I forgive them? And work to forgive them and accept them. And that's the beginning. Let us meditate. Sitting with your spine erect, place your hands in the Om Mudra upon your thighs and turn your head to the left with a double exhalation. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch the breath. Pull the energy from the limbs to the trunk using the sipping breath. From the trunk to the spinal column. From the base of the spine to the sun center. Move that energy out in front of you like a golden ball of light. Expand it and sweep that light around you to the left, encasing your entire being in golden light. And now ascend upward. Ascend to the high place. In front of you is a tall mountain, a large mountain. And you see a path ascending up the mountain. Easily you begin to walk along the path, entering a forest. The air is clear. The light dabbles through the trees. You see the stream running by you. You ascend upward. The path opens in front of you. The brilliant light of the sun pouring down upon a meadow. The path continues through the meadow. You are surrounded by the birds, the butterflies, the dragonflies, the flowers. The path ascends again into a forest of pines, of fir trees, of balsam. You smell the wood lifting you, ascending, the smell of the pines wafting, bearing you upward further. Carrying you further up the mountain. It is as if you are floating up. You see upon the ground large crystals radiating forth their light to shine upon you as you ascend. You come to a clearing in the path. Light pours down from every side in the clearing. A brilliant shrine lies in front of you. This is perfect for you. Entering into the shrine, you breathe in the light. At this moment, the light of healing pours towards you. You walk to the back of the shrine, to the pool of light. Entering the pool, Feel yourself submerged in the light. Walk through the pool of light to the waterfall. The light pouring down upon your crown center. Filling every cell of your being. Washing away the karmas. Letting go of the karmas. Breathe in the light. Accept the light and let go. As the light fills every cell of your being, feel all of the old dissolving away, the hurts, the misunderstandings, disappointments, the difficult challenges dissolving away. Feel the light at your sun center revealed unto you. Focus at the sun center and feel the light. Walk forth from the waterfall, through the pool of light, clothed anew, vivified, strengthened, clothed anew. Breathing in the light. Walk forth from the shrine. And return now with ease to your high place of meditation. Let us chant the Om Shanti mantra together. First, remembering at this moment those souls who are on their journey to leave the earth. Jack Peterson, Jim Wisnut, all of those whose names we do not know. May the light pour forth upon them, that they might see the light, that their way might be lit with ease and harmony. Om Shanti. 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 For those upon the earth who are suffering from illness, from physical illness, from mental illness, from imbalances, may they have all that they need to be well. Om Shanti. 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 For those souls who are living with hard hearts, who are living in illusion, whose actions and words are harming others, may they have all that they need to see clearly, to soften their hearts, to soften their actions, to soften their speech. Om Shanti. 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 For those souls who are seeking teachers, who are seeking guidance, who are seeking a path through which to live life, may their way be cleared. Om Shanti. 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 From this high place, send forth thy light to Mother Gaia. See thy light descending upon Mother Gaia and going to every crack and crevice, to all the beings living upon Mother Gaia, living within her arms, her shelter. That this light go to them, that it go to her, that all be brought into balance. Om Shanti. 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 Om Shanti. 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 Om Shanti. 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 Most beloved and precious Ishta, thou knowest better than I, thou knowest better than we, that which the world needs. We ask that you bring it to them now, swiftly, surely, and most harmoniously. Om Shanti. 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 May the golden dewdrops of Anandic bliss pour forth upon thee at this moment, pour forth upon thee and upon thy loved ones, in all realms. Feel that golden Anandic bliss and draw it forth, that you know that you are goodness. Ananda, 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 da, da. Thou art blessed. Become an ever greater blessing to all of those who enter your aura as you walk through this week. Namaste. I thank you for the blessings of your presence, for your Yoga City, for your sharing your blessings at this time. Namaste.